Longtime Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal recently revealed that prior to the release of Spider-Man by Sam Raimi, the entire studio was ready for this to fail. And during the world premiere, she was sitting in the back crying because she figured this is the end of her career and the end of Sony. Let's get this out of the way. Hindsight is 2020. Everybody says, well, you could have seen that that's going to be a failure or that's going to be a success. I mean, come on. Okay, then why were people predicting that The Flash was going to be a billion-dollar film? And now everybody's acting like they all knew it was going to be one of the biggest comic book and box office bombs of all time. I mean, right? But people knew, sure. So people have given her a lot of flack for saying that when the film came out, she was literally crying because she was so afraid of what was going to happen. She said that despite some decent early reviews, there was no knowing that this was going to be successful. And with what just recently happened with comic book films, she's talking about, Batman and Robin, for example, tanking it, and Steel failing, and Blade making barely a profit, that everything hinged on this. So she says she was so worried because you never know how it was going to turn out. She was terrified. She was in tears. She went to a room and just cried because this was it. They spent this money. They believed it was over for them. But then the buzz started and the film came out and makes $100 million in its first 3 days and cements comic book films as the future of Hollywood. And everybody starts betting on them. And she says that was a sign of relief. But again, it was uncertain times and uncertain characters and uncertain things just all coming together, and that there was no way of knowing that it was going to be successful. So again, I've seen a lot of people ever since she was talking about this saying that it was absolutely idiotic. But it wasn't. It literally wasn't idiotic. Like, I'm sorry, a lot of people do not understand that, like, for me, for example, I've talked about this on the podcast before. In the year 2001, I was wearing a Spider-Man shirt. And guess what happened? Everybody made fun of me. Everybody. I was like the laughing stock of everybody because Spider-Man is for losers. Nobody's going to like these stupid cartoons or comics. Nobody's going to like the upcoming movie. The video game is going to flop. Again, it was a different time. So, yeah, times have changed. So, it's good for her to admit things like this because it opens people's eyes.